Yeah,
there we go. Hey! I ain't doing that intro again. It's not that.
No,
Nah, pointless.
So yeah, what do you guys think of that match?
We were absolutely
I think.
yeah, man. I mean, look, the first half we did okay. Don't get us wrong. We started well enough. We went 2-1 up, and I thought we played okay in parts. And then in the second half, we just completely fell apart. I mean, ASM lost the ball. West Ham scored from that. And then the third goal, it was never a penalty. I'm sorry, it was not a penalty. And that was a turning point. And then the fourth goal, let's be real about it, we bombed forward. And then Richie and Murphy got caught really, and the defence. And West Ham broke away from that. But you look at the defence today. The defence was absolutely pathetic. If that's the defence going to go with this season, we get relegated. Richie was poor. Very, very poor today, mate. And surely now, this is going to upset a lot of people. I think he needs to be dropped. I think he should get Jamal Lewis back in.
Yeah, I think most of us wanted Lewis back in that match. Go on, Dave.
I was going to say I thought Richie was okay, but he was. I don't like him as a wing back. I just don't think he's got what it takes. He's quick enough now. I mean, I think he's in his later ends of his career. He's much better further forward than he is, because from my money, he can't. I think he can't run far enough with the ball, and do something with him. Where if he starts further forward, more like midfield further, I think he can do more. But John's absolutely right. I mean, the penalty. I sit in the east stand, and I sit towards the Leazers end, and we all said, "What's happened there?" There was one player in ours, in two of theirs, and then everybody seemed to fall on the ground with it. Oh well, next thing you know is the penalty. And thinking, what? And it was just I couldn't get my head around it. And then I've just watched Steve Bruce's post-match interview. What he did his usual. Well, we played all right, and then first half we might have done, but second half we're absolutely, as John says, we're woeful second half, absolutely bloody woeful. Not a clue, just poor all round. And I think at the end, much as it grieves us, I think 4-2 was probably about right.
Did you agree on the penalty though? Was it a penalty? Was it?
I didn't think it was. No. Well, you see, we were all sat watching it coming through, and we're more worried about them scoring a goal. Went, what's going on? Yeah, then everybody went down and went, what's happened there? And then we all just thought it was it seemed like a fair tackle to us, but then next thing you know, there's a bloody penalty given. So for my money today, we've been shafted twice with VAR, with their first goal and the penalty. So probably a certain party in London might have said, don't let them have it, or I'll just be can't myself so.
The things I'm going to say as well, I mean, people's going to say the penalty is a turning point, but don't let that fool you. West Ham was going to score. They should have scored before they went when they hit the post. And also as well, what I will say, West Ham pound on this all the time. They will have scored whether it was penalty or not. West Ham was well on top anyway.
The only thing that I heard from Bruce's interview at the end, I kind of would agree with him on that. And as much as it hurts, I would agree with him that the ref should have actually gone and looked at the camera to see if it was a penalty or not.
Yeah. He should have, but really he should have. But like Bruce says, for me, Bruce says the turning point. I don't think it was. I mean, they scored 10 minutes before that penalty, and we should have been. The signs were coming that they were going to get another one because of the way we just capitulated after their second goal. Yeah. So he done nothing to change that again. He done nothing to change it till we were 4-2 down when he changed everything. I mean, the game was over then.
He made one change to us before it all went in the pot, but I mean, his changes at the end. We were arguing, saying, well, he brought Joelinton on, he took Wilson off, he took others off, and you just think, well, hang on, we've got to get in the box, we've got to score, we've got like 7 minutes to do it, and he's tinkering around the edges. It's the old thing, playing with the sun chairs on the Titanic, as it's going down. It was just too late as ever, I don't know why he took Wilson off. I don't know whether he had a knock or whatever, but he looked to me like the only one who was going to score. But he wasn't getting the service though, lads. That's we were saying he wasn't getting what he needs, the ball through, and ASM, much as I love him, he was dancing around the pitch all the time. I mean, the first goal was brilliant, but he makes poor decisions, I think, in that sort of final ball into the box,
You know what it is? Right? I mean, you just said there as well that when he made the substitutes after 83 minutes, he should have changed the tactics as well, sort of thing. Go for 4-4-2 and went for it. Steve Bruce is scared for change. He's too scared, right? He doesn't change things up. He takes off Wilson, brings on Paul Linton. Why does he not play at a 4-4-2? Have a go, right? And just go for it. We need a goal. Yeah. Have two players up top. Play Wilson and Joe Linton at the top. I would have brought Dry Girl on sort of thing instead of Joe Linton, to be fair. But at the end of the day, what I was seeing is I just don't get Steve Bruce. He'll never change it, to be fair.
Well, it doesn't matter who he brings on at that time because no one could have made a change at that time.
I mean, he's got no options off the bench, which are going to get at least an attacking threat. Dwight Gale, Joe Linton, all meh options. I mean, that was a real issue with the bench. West Ham, they brought on 3 players: Yarmolenko, Fredericks, and Ben Johnson. Yeah, Ben Johnson's young. All better than what Bruce brought on. It's just the options of the bench are what I think might kill Newcastle, because up until the first till West Ham's second goal, Newcastle were not bad. They were actually quite good, and then after that just collapsed. And aside, Ben Rama, in my opinion, was the best player on the pitch for West Ham. He made a difference.
I think he got given man of the match as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. He's very good.
He picked up spaces in between the midfield and the back 5 for Newcastle and just spread the ball around. He was fantastic. Antonio, as always, clinical. Missed that header for the penalty, but he was brilliant as well. And West Ham overall, I think they deserve to win.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we were saying 5 or 6 minutes into the second half, hang on, what's going here? We're 2-1 up. We're attacking. We're going down the wings. They were quite well going into the box, but they weren't just putting it where they should have done. But it was attacking football, and then all of a sudden it just. I think I don't agree with Bruce much of what he says, but he was right about the penalty. I think that knocked the wind out of the sails. We just lost our heads for about 10 minutes, and that was what West Ham needed to get back in and take over and run were ragged. And they could have scored more. I really think they could have done, but as I say, that the last 7 minutes where I shouted at them was 7 minutes to go at that point, and they were what I call tippy-tapping around the back 4, thinking, get it up the field, get it in. You're not going to score from our half. You're not going to score just in front of a penalty area. Get into their penalty area, daft buggers. And they just weren't doing it. They were, it was almost like they were trying to play not to have any more goals scored against them. Well, too late then, guys.
Yeah, and if you look at it, Dave, as well, that back 5, right, conceded 62 goals last season, and we've gone into the new season with the same back 3, same defence, and that has not been fixed up. And I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks.
No, exactly.
If that doesn't get fixed up, right, we're going to be in big, big trouble, and that should have been sorted out. We've got no pace at the back. There's no leadership.
You're absolutely spot on, John, because the one thing annoyed me about the penalty, fact that they'll give a penalty when I think it was, but Woodman did well to save it, but of course it was a well-hit shot. He could only parry it, but where was our defence? Why were we diving in on us? We almost stood there going, "Ooh, what happens now?" And then of course West Ham thought quicker, bang, back of the net. Thank you very much. 3-2, and you just think, for God's sake, or 2-2, whatever it was, can't remember now.
And Souček, but Richie allowed Souček to run past him and score that over rebound sort of thing. This has just been saying I love Matt Ritchie, but surely now, and people's going to have to understand now that Ritchie times at Newcastle, and this is going to upset a lot of people, is up. Yeah, get Jamal Lewis in, right? Give him running games, right? Ritchie will have to play an impact sub, but I think he wants to go to Bournemouth. What's the point of him at a player who doesn't really want to be here? Because only because Bournemouth can't afford the money. So the thing is, I'll drop Ritchie now. I'll bring Lewis on now. I don't think the wing back, you got to be quick playing as wing back. And Ritchie isn't quick enough anymore. I think
you're absolutely right, John. As I said earlier on, he be my favourite player for Donkey's years, but he's playing that far back, But the other thing was, level 7 Dave's mate Shelby was, even he said he had a bad game. I thought the first 20 minutes he played quite well. He was certainly pinging the passes around, but then, like he often does, and again, I think I've said a couple of times, Shelby was an absolutely cracking player 4 years ago, and he keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's no good. He needs to be in the middle of the park, picking it around, which we know he can do, and that's where Ritchie should be as well. But the whole thing just fell apart, very, very quickly for my money.
And also as well on that subject as well quickly, I mean, you got ASM, Miggy are quick players, right? Quick players, and they like to take on players. I do not ever want to see those two tracking back and help out defense ever again, because by the time they get back, by the time they get forward, right, they're going to be absolutely knackered later on in the game. Because I want them to run at players. That's their job. They're attacking players, not defensive players. You know what I mean? Steve Bruce has got problems. We have got problems. Our squad's got problems, right? We are in for a long, long season. This should have got fixed.
Absolutely. You're right, John. It's going to be a long season. This is how we start. But there again, we'll go to, is it Villa next Sunday? And we'll beat them 7-1 and it'll all be good in the world again. So I'll get my own coat, don't worry.
I don't see us getting anything over Villa. They played well against Watford, even though they lost. But the players that they brought in are amazing players. And what have we got? We've just got Willock putting us back to the same strength as what we was last season.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jason. That's what we were saying, that the game today, we had a worse squad than the squad at the end of the season because Willock wasn't in it. Next week, we'll have the same squad. And that squad was proved not to be good enough. It was it only got up there because other teams fell apart near the end of the season. We didn't deserve to finish 12th last year, but we did. We'll take it. But that squad's just not good enough, in my opinion, and it needs. I think Chipper said the other night we need 3 or 4 more decent players.
It's like Daniel says in the comments. West Ham bench was a lot stronger than our. More investment is definitely needed.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
So penalty was harsh. I think we all see that. There's pictures already up saying that the player most likely dived. Defense reaction was poor after the penalty save. Yes, I feel that maybe Woodman could have kept hold of it instead of parrying it, but. It's his Premier League debut. You can't really fault the lad. No.
I mean, I've got to say, I don't think maybe it's the third goal, the one after the penalty. I've lost track. It was only a couple of hours ago. My brain's gone. I'm probably still forming. I don't think he was at fault really for the 3 goals. And the penalty. I think he played well. His distribution was pretty good. I like the way he almost chips the ball out of his box to a player. He did that a couple of times, which was very good, which we don't get off Darlow or Dubravka. I think he's a great prospect.
The thing is, I think Freddie Woon's going to be a candy keeper sort of thing, but today I think he was hung out to dry by the defence, and the defence needs to be blamed. The senior players needs to be blamed as well. You cannot rely on players all our suit, and the problem is. As well, but those 3 defenders who experienced defenders, by the way, experienced a lot of them, right? And they were absolutely clueless today. A lot of them.
John, you just took the words right out of my mouth from what I said on your show earlier.
Copy and paste.
Right, have you written them down?
Exactly what Danil says. Exactly my thoughts. Defence did not help Woodman out. They did not protect him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I did.
Go on, Annie. Sorry. Go on.
Sorry, I didn't rate Woodman at all when he was in the Championship with Swansea because there was a very good defence in front of him, and he kept a lot of clean sheets because of that. He made a few mistakes, but he looked very good today. Distribution, as Dave said, was very good. He was very much left out, hung out to dry. Quote credit Chippers and John. But yeah, they were. Yeah, I thought he was fine, but if he comes up against a lesser team, I think he'll be better.
I think Woodman's been held to dry by the whole club, if I'm being honest, because 2 weeks ago he was going to Bournemouth. It was all set for him to go a couple of weeks ago. And Steve Bruce didn't want him here. And now all of a sudden he's the number one keeper for the first game of the season because Darlow had COVID. Mm-hmm. It's just the way he's gone about it, it's completely wrong. Just because someone's had COVID, he's going to be number one when Darlow would have been back. So does that say to me he doesn't know who his best keeper is outside of Dubravka, or does he not know who's best out of the other three? Does he not?
Oh, to be honest, I always thought that Gillespie was going to start because he's like the third choice, isn't he?
Yeah.
And now Woodman's now been hugely linked with Arsenal because they want a better keeper. They shouldn't have got rid of Martinez in the first place.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. I think, Jason, that and I would argue that Bruce probably doesn't know his best team. We've said this before in other shows that he doesn't make substitutions at the right time. He doesn't always have the best players on the bench. There's others sitting, warm in the stands, which is just appalling. He lost it. We can watch straight over to where he is, and there was times he turned around to the bench. It seems almost saying, "I don't know what to do here," which is not what you want, Whereas
get him sacked. Sack him.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, but when you look at David Moyes, all the time, all the match, shouting, screaming, get up the pitch, pointing, telling people what to do. Bruce never does that.
I don't think both.
Do you know what it is? Right? I mean, I've never, ever seen a manager in my life, just stands there, hands in his pockets, doesn't really care, right? He just stands there. I mean, I want him gone. I never want him at Newcastle. I want him out if he even came in, right? And he should have got sacked in the middle of last season after the Brighton game or the Brentford game, right? I would have got Eddie Howling, right? He's available, right? Get him in, right? And give him a project, right? Give him a couple, 3 or 4 years to get things right. He plays good football. He lets the players express themselves, and he makes the substitutions early. And he'll do something about it very, very quickly because he's that good. Not this manager. This manager, it's a joke.
I actually saw Steve Bruce shouting, giving instructions to players, which I wouldn't have seen last season during the game. Again, football fans are very stubborn, so I'm not going to touch on that.
Well, yeah, it's a fair point, Annie, but I think for my money, and I'm not disagreeing because I didn't watch them all the time. For you, so on the telly, it's probably got a better view than I had, sort of 100 yards away. But when I look at the times when Moyes was screaming, shouting, and as the players are going down the wing, he's almost telling them what to do, where to go, and how to improve what they're doing. Bruce doesn't seem to do that. But having said that, I don't think he's ever done it, But he keeps his worst ever Premiership managers mantle well because his win rate is slowly going down all the time. It's shocking. But there's one thing, Jason, if I can ask a question. The crowd was announced at 50,000. I don't know how much of the TV showed around the grounds. I don't know.
It didn't really show many fans at all. It just focused everything on the pitch and on Bruce.
I don't think it was. There's about 6 of us all sitting together. I've done it for a few seasons now. We all went, what? 50,000?
How many turned up? How many turned up?
Well, according to the announcement, it was 50,400 and something. I can't remember exactly, but 50,000 and a little bit.
I'm surprised that amount went in.
Well, we
No,
were,
they
and it didn't look as though that was what I'm getting at, Jason. I don't think it looked like 50,000. There was, especially in Sir John Hall's stand, there was gaping gaps. I mean, the last 5 or 6 rows right away along was empty. Level 7 was patchy. The rest of it was reasonably full, but to lose it's only 52,000 and something, isn't it? The stadium capacity.
They count the season tickets even if they're not there.
Yes, that's true, Annie. Yes, you're right. So there may have been a few missing because of that. I don't know, but anyway, just a thought.
Wow, it's expected to see gaps now. I don't think many want to see Bruce Ball. They'd rather stay at home and watch it on the TV than be at the stadium.
That's right. Yeah. And you're absolutely right, Jason, because it's we said that if after getting beat 4-2 today, second half total capitulation, how many is going to be at the next home game?
I'll be up in 2 weeks' time anyway, so I'll go into the match on Saturday, 2 weeks' time on Saturday, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll definitely be up for that.
Have you got your Joe Linton black banner ready for it?
Hey, that's Annie's favourite player, Joe Linton.
Well.
What?
John,
Linton's your favourite player, man.
You need to be in the stack 2.5 hours before the match because you're buying Chubbers and David and I pint.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm at work 2 weeks' time on Saturday, so I'll not be going.
Oh, no. It's all right.
John
will
put a pint in one on Saturday. I mean, someone, Tracy, Georgie Mama, I mean, she's the one who wants to see us as well Saturday when I got there, so she's one of them. I'll see others as well. Obviously, you guys as well.
Yeah, we'll try and meet up. Yeah. I didn't see Paul today. I don't know where he was today, but I missed it.
Have I seen his tweets tonight? He's raging. He's been on Twitter and he's raging.
Never.
I want to get him on here.
I wish he would come on like that. I wish he would be watching this.
Paul raging. No, I don't.
Gordon Ramsay rage.
I don't believe that for 1 second. Paul's going to have a rant, is he?
That's just a normal.
I like Paul. I like Paul.
Yeah.
I tell you what, he's our lead judge. He's our lead judges for AFTV. Between Paul and lead judges at AFTV, I can't pick a winner out of those two. I really can't pick a winner out of those two, but
I don't know. Shocking. Never mind.
What do you guys think?
David,
every single game, because every time that we start putting in a decent performance, we go in at halftime. Bruce opens his mouth, and we always come out and throw the game away. What does he say at halftime?
Do you know what he says? Do you know what he says? He says, "Same again, lads," and then picks up his phone, walks out the dressing room, and then calls the doner kebab shop.
Wouldn't surprise me. He gets his Gregs in.
He probably goes in and says, "Well, where's me bacon sandwich gone?" And then spends 10 minutes looking for it, So
Graham, where's me sandwich? What's happening?
Okay. Where's me bacon sandwich gone? What was the bacon? Did you say?
A lot of people, right, don't want to have a go at player suite. ASM, I'm a massive fan of ASM, but he was definitely at fault for the second goal. When the ball took it off him, he was definitely at fault for the second goal. Tried to be clever, but then again the defense as well. But ASM definitely needs to take some blame as well for that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but I think the other thing is that the way Moyes has West Ham's attacking minded. As soon as they got a chance, they're away. As we see up here doing the road like a Lindy, like a marble going along the road really, really fast, and we just couldn't handle it. And like you said earlier on, our defence just isn't quick enough, and we're pushing up because I think we're hoping to get another goal and a breakaway. But of course, you leave yourself exposed at the back, which we did several times, and it just wasn't good enough because we weren't quick enough to get back. And then there was a couple of times when, I forget it was now, late in the second half, somebody went, it was probably Murphy, went rushing, he's back, rushing down the wing, and not a sinner of our players in the box. I think, well, who's he going to pass to? There's nobody there. So and this is what Bruce does time after time after time. I went around.
I don't agree with Murphy being a wing back. He should be one up the top end of the field.
Yeah. You know what it is, Jason, right? I mean, I like he's kind of coming forward. I think he's the best cross of the ball. But defensively, I've got some questions about Jacob Murphy. He's not very good defensively at all whatsoever. He's not. And he needs to be a lot there. That's why you need to change the tactics to a 4-2-3-1. Get 2 new defenders in and play a 4-2-3-1. The defence we got at the club now are just not good enough. Fernandes too slow. Clark's too slow. Sorry, but I'm going to be honest with you. And Emil Kraft, the less said about him, the better. I mean, there's a reason why.
I disagree with you today because I thought Kraft first half and part of second half actually had a canny game. And I've said for a while there's a player in there, but he needs good coaching. When he saw him in the Euros, he didn't look too bad when he came on. And I definitely think with the right coaching, he could be a good player. But with Bruce and the other, apart from Jones, you're right. He's just not what he needs to be. He's not quick enough. He doesn't think quick enough. Maybe he's at Euros. He had a bit more time. I don't know, but in the Premier League, he clearly doesn't. But I still think he's a good player in there. But it's not coming out.
I watched him at Bologna as a Serie A fan, and they could not wait to get rid of this guy. He was absolutely awful. I mean, he's on £58,000 a week, David. He's on 58 grand.
How much?
58 grand a week, Kraft is on. Right? And whoever sanctioned that move for him, me personally, I think he should be sacked because I could have told a lot of people. I said on Twitter a couple of years ago and said that, oh my God, please don't sign him. He is not good enough. And now I got ripped a good one, right? Saying now being negative. I'm not being negative. Emil Kraft, I've always said, I said now he ain't good enough, yeah? And I get people got on me DMs last season and apologize, say, John, you're right about Emil Kraft, you're correct about Emil Kraft, he is crap. And to be fair, I don't want any apologies, yeah? They don't want to back him. I knew what he was like the week after it. But
you're right, yeah. No, I see where you're coming from, yeah.
But at the end of the day, right, I mean, I know he wrote things good player, Dave, cool, but he can have some good games. But when it comes to the big games, he looks lost.
Yeah. Going back to Jacob Murphy, he's not a wing back. When he was on loan at Sheffield Wednesday, he played wing back, but he was constantly right up the pitch because Sheffield Wednesday, they put one of their midfielders at right back to cover for Murphy, and he was constantly right up the pitch. So that's why he did so well. So I don't understand. I think Bruce has thought that, okay, he's played at wing back at Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe I can get away with playing him at wing back here. I don't think he quite understood what Gary Monk, the Sheffield Wednesday manager at the time, did to help Jacob Murphy do well. So I think he was underestimated there, yeah.
As David said, that our defence is really slow. For me personally, I think Federico Fernandes is our best defender, but he's getting on in age. We need players with speed that can actually track back as fast as they can. Are we getting them? No.
Thing is, right, I think Fernandes is still one of our best defenders at the club, but he needs 2 pacey players alongside him. That's what they need. Yeah. Tuanzebe, this opportunity, could have got him on loan. But this is the thing with Newcastle's transfer policy. We only go for a player if no one else goes for him, right? But if someone else goes in for them, we back away. Dave said it earlier on, we're too scared of competition with other clubs. Do you know what I mean? They do not like to compete with other clubs. Do you know what I mean? But when we've got Joe Linton, who else is after him? No one.
Yeah, true.
The sooner we can get Joe Linton out of it, the better. But we're not going to get much for him. He's not worth the 40 we paid for him. His price tag goes down and down each game that he plays. Yes, he has improved since his first season, but is he going to be a force?
Definitely not.
I absolutely agree, Jason. I think when you look at him, I think Paul said one of his cast a while ago, he's a proper unit. He's a big strapping lad. I wouldn't like to mess with him, but he ends up. I mean, how many times does he end up flat on his back? It's ridiculous for a bloke of his size.
Yeah. David.
Oh, yeah, Chippers. You tired
I
fella.
don't know.
I was just going to say, John, are you still on the iron, bro? Because you must have been drinking that all day, have you?
No, I haven't got. I've got just over half, man. Just over half.
Oh.
And, I should be. I'll just be drinking water, really, but I'll be doing that tomorrow.
That's why he glows in the dark every time he goes on the Four Horsemen.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing you shouldn't do is go to the stack and order a pint of lemonade like I did, because I'm on tablets, so I can't drink alcohol. £2.90 for a pint of lemonade at the stack. I nearly died.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, man, tell you.
I don't drink.
Sorry.
Absolutely ridiculous. £2.90 for a glass of pint of lemonade.
Yeah. I said to the kid in service, I could have went to bloody Aldi and got 5 2-litre bottles for that, man.
Yeah.
You're best off sneaking your own drink in.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. We'll go to the next game. That's what I'd just be doing. Stick a bottle in and be cold. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Never mind. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, guys, just quickly, guys. I don't know if you guys listened to Malcolm McDonald and John Gibson on Thursday night on NUS Matters, right? And I got a good one. Yeah, I mean, the younger generation Newcastle fans, right, having a right go at Zimmermack and Gibbo, right, saying that they're dinosaurs of the game. Their times is gone.
Right.
But let me tell you something, right? If anyone young fans listening, right, do your research, find out what they do, listen to them, and you'll learn a lot from it. Because I'll tell you something now, those guys are 100% right. So what he said about Clinton, right? Malcolm McDonald was absolutely seething every time you mentioned Joe Linton's name. And Gibbo is absolutely 100% right regarding Joe Linton. I mean, Malcolm said he is not good enough for Newcastle United Football Club. He doesn't know what he brings to the table. What does he do? What's his style? And 6 scores in 69 games tells his own story. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
The magic 69 number.
Chippers. No, Chippers.
The magic 69 number.
6 scores in 69 games. This is a player that hasn't scored twice in any game. He's never scored double figures. And yet, all the people saying that there's a player in there, I'm still waiting for that player in there.
The only person in there is you, John.
To be fair, Jason, I did say at the start of last year I thought there was a player in there, but after the back in the last season today, I'm done with him. He's not quick enough. He's not skillful enough, and you're absolutely right, Jason. He's got to go.
It's first touch. I mean, everyone's saying about Aubervary Martins. I say he's got a poor first touch, right? But he's got the pace to retrieve that football, and he scores some cracking goals. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd take Auber Martins over Joe Linton all day long.
Yeah,
it's just like we all say. He's got the build. He is built like as we say, he's built like a brick shit house.
Yeah,
he is massive. He is massive, but the slightest touch, and he's on the floor like rolling around. Like, how is he doing this? He should be bullying other players.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jason. I mean, the size of him, he should be barging 3 players and just pushing them off. I mean, the size of him. I don't know whether that's come from his days in Germany, but just hopeless. Excuse me a second. I was going to open my jar because we're having more tea soon.
We've never seen a player. Never seen a player in there.
Sweet and sour sauce for sweet and sour chicken. There you go, lovely.
It's like Jamal Lewis. There is definitely a player in there. We saw that from Norwich. As soon as he comes here, Bruce, and he is awful. He needs a better coach, and he needs a good run in the side.
But Jason, I couldn't agree more. But I mean, there was I don't know where it was, either on watching one of the shows or on Twitter or whatever the other week, and somebody said, how many players have improved in the 3 years Bruce has been here? I couldn't think of any. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I think they've all gone backwards.
They've all gone backwards, yeah, exactly.
Nobody's progressed under Steve Bruce.
Yeah.
So it's
only real argument I can make for, and he has made a name for himself in the Premier League, is ASM. He has he wasn't really known in the foreign league, and Newcastle brought him in, and now he's a really good player. Only real argument I would make, but apart from that, yeah.
But I think you're right. I think, but even ASM with a good coach who can say to somebody, what you need to do is this, that, and that, whatever it is, and make him better and make him have that final ball where it should be. But he's not doing that. Whether Graham Jones has been overruled by the other four coaches. I don't know. It's just it's sad and shocking, and
We Tuesday knows we'll get higher crisps. I'm starving.
Hey Billy, says Jamal Lewis should be in the next week. Richie looks over the hill now, especially defensively. Yeah. Agree. The only thing I like about Richie, he's very passionate. He's always screaming and barking orders. He would make a great captain, but as for a wing back, no.
Not no. I don't know whether they showed it on the telly. The bit where they had an attack and Richie quite accidentally caught one of their players who went down like a bag of hammers, and the referee immediately played on. It's not an issue at all. Richie went across, leaned over, and said, I don't know what he said, but so, "You all right, son?" And he slapped him on the back of the head, and I thought that probably hurt more than the challenge did. He's going to say, "I can't play it. I've got a knackered head."
I've got a little stats there, guys. So I can Matt Ritchie very, very quickly. Right, I'll go by minutes. Yeah, 4 of them, 4 points. Yeah, in the 53rd minute, he lost his man, wrong side to defend, crossing header for 2s each. West Ham got a leveller. 62 minutes, lost the flight off the ball, leave this man feed across, led to the penalty. The very next minute, he fell asleep after the penalties being served, allowing Zucek to score from that. And then 3 minutes after that, jogs back while Antonio spins past him to make a 4-2. That's not Ritchie, That's a passion player, He was poor today.
I wouldn't let you get slapped by him, bro.
Say again?
I wouldn't let you get slapped by him. That's
slap behind me. I know you're right, David. Absolutely not.
It does like to slap everyone that scores.
Shocking.
I bet you that players on the bus now thinking, I've got a right headache. He's got a bit slight concussion.
And you got Billy saying the only one that thinks is that's improved is Murphy, and he got that improvement from being away from the club, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he isn't improving.
Going to Sheffield Wednesday has made a better player out of him.
What do you say, do you think Hayden's improving? You call him lazy, or do you?
I think Hayden's always been one of our better midfielders.
He has. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right, Jason. He has. I've always liked him. He's quick. Sorry, David. Say again.
I just didn't like his attitude last season. When you wanted to go, then all of a sudden.
You also said Joe Willock wasn't signing, and he signed the next, do you?
No, but everyone said that he wasn't signing. It wasn't just me.
I never said it. Never. Did the show on the telly, guys? The Willie came on just before the kickoff.
Yeah,
they did. He got a great ovation when he came on. It was good.
And it was sat in between his parents throughout the game.
All right, well, I didn't see that. Was he in the director's box? Was he?
No, I think he was just in the stands.
All right.
It didn't look too happy, so I think he might have wanted to be playing, but his mum was having a good time. She was dancing all over the place.
Really? Oh well, that's good. That's good. Well, if the parents are there, and supporting them, that's can only be a good thing. I would have thought.
See that Man City got beat to you.
Did they get beat?
John's texting Joe Linton, I think.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Who got beat?
Man City got beat 1-0.
Man City got beat.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Spurs 1-0.
I've been catching up on emails since I got back, so I've not seen anything. So, wow. I haven't even seen where we are in the league now. I know we started in 10th place.
15th.
So where are we now?
Newcastle are 15th. You are, you're 15th. You're above Arsenal.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's
Not that hard.
you know,
You're 11
Jason,
on points. You're 11 on points with Manchester City. Zero.
I'll ask you a question, guys, around the table, right? I know it's one game, guys, but I want to take into consideration into last season as well. I mean, I'll go around the table. I'll start with you, Jason. Are you worried after one game?
I'm worried for as long as Bruce is in charge. I'm always going to be worried.
David?
I've been worried since he took charge, and it hasn't stopped, and it continues. The same old. We haven't signed any new players. We've got the same team that we started with last season. And in his words, he was said that he was going to improve the squad. He hasn't improved it. So yes, I'm worried.
It's all talk of Bruce, isn't it? He said that you're going to let the top clubs get ahead of us first, and then we pick up the scraps after, sort of thing. Never heard anything like that in my life. Brentford spent £32 million, by the way. Chippers, are you worried about Newcastle after one game?
Yep. Very worried.
And Anil, for a Newcastle fan looking in, are you worried about one game after one game?
What, in terms of relegation?
Yeah, at the start sort of thing. I mean, if we look at a new season, we have made no signings apart from Willock. Defence has been sorted out. We've gone into the new season with the same squad.
I think you'll be just fine. I think you'll finish 15th, 16th. I don't think you'll be 12th again, but that was very tight, the 12th place. I think you'll be much lower down this time, yeah.
And David Harrison, are you worried about
I've got to agree with you, lads. I mean, I think I said, I don't know which show it was. It was on yours or Paul's last week before the season started. I would down for relegation, and at the minute, I mean, it's always one game. You know, I mean, we could go on a run and win the next 6. No, sorry, I haven't taken I've taken too many happy pills, haven't I? But no,
I think you need to take your jacket again.
Yeah, I'll get my coat. Yeah, but no, I don't think that we've got enough depth, because let's face it, we're only a couple of inches away from disaster. If we lose Wilson in ASM, and I think you said this the other night, Jason, that 2 or 3 injuries or a couple of suspensions, and we're absolutely stuffed, because we have not got the strength in depth. Can't get your words out. To lose a few of the better players. It was only Willock's goals at the back end of last season, when Wilson was out, that kept us up and got us to 12. And we never expected anything in the world to finish that high. David's a little bit right, but slightly wrong, that we are the same as we finished last season. I think I said that earlier on. We're no better than we were at the end of last season, and every other team, bar us, has improved from the end of last season. We haven't done that. We're exactly the same, and I just fear for my club. I just think we're going to crash and burn.
Exactly.
I hope not. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely hope not. But
as Daniil says, our squad is paper thin. It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple of injuries, and we have no one as backup. Pretty much, we definitely haven't got a replacement for ASM. We haven't got a replacement for Wilson. There's no deadly goal scorer like Wilson in our squad.
There is a couple of players out there that would come back, but we won't take them.
We lost our chance to get Adam Armstrong back. He's now scoring on his debut for Southampton. We got some money back on him, but where's that money going? That's probably going in the back of Ashley's pocket.
Yep.
Are we actually going to bring anyone else in to even think about saying we've got to strengthen the side, or aren't we? We've got a couple of weeks left of the window.
Well, yeah, absolutely, Jason. We've got what 2 weeks from tomorrow. Is it? I can't remember the dates now, but how many players have we been linked to? 45, 50?
No, it's like 87 players we've been linked with.
Never in God's creation. Well, there you go. And we haven't got any of those in because we always wanted Wilson, so right, if it's 87, that's 86 other players. And are we going to get any? I tweeted it a while ago saying I don't think we'll get anybody this year because I wasn't convinced. I think Willock always wanted to come, but I don't think we would have got him. I was surprised we did get him over the moon, don't get me wrong. But I just didn't think that we'd get him over the line because that line at this club is like a bloody mountain, isn't it? Kind of get them over the top. But I can't see we're bringing anybody else in. I really can't. I hope we do, but I can't see. Sorry, David.
Yeah, you're expecting Charlie to do business is really, really strong words.
Charlie,
where is he to begin with?
Well, exactly. Who is he? What does he do?
Who?
Did anyone see him or Ashley at the game today?
No, he wasn't there. I know. So.
Well, exactly. Where are they?
If you are going to get someone in, who are you gonna get in? Who's the player that desperately wants to come to Newcastle?
Rondon.
But we've got that policy where we're not allowed to sign anyone over the age of 27. So Rondon's at the question already.
He's 31, isn't he? So, but is Rondon on free though, Jason?
Rondon is on a free, yeah.
So you'd have got wages. They reckon that they've got £100 million a year off. Sorry, £10 million a year off the wage bill with those that have gone. But I tell you, lads, put one out here. Last day of the transfer window, who's going to come back as player coach?
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll.
Is this the rumour? It's going to come back as player coach?
It's just me, John. I just think that they'll panic like they did last year, and they'll bring him because he hasn't gone anywhere.
No,
he's not been linked with anybody.
He was actually linked with us for like a week.
I did see that. Bristol City were interested in Andy Carroll, but they pulled out. Good job with them because all they knew he was just going to keep the physio bench warm.
We already have an advisor.
But Jason, though, the comments were that last year he was fit all season. And he's never played. I mean, I don't know that's true, but that's what was all the pundits.
Well, he did get a 30-second appearance, didn't he, just to get his wages? That was absolutely stupid.
That's Bruce to a bloody T, that isn't it? I mean, God.
I tell you what,
34 seconds, my word.
If he ever comes back to Newcastle, I'm done because the club is a complete and utter shambles. You know what I mean? They're just they're getting players either at the last minute or they pick up players, right? He's got a terrible injury record sort of thing as well. That's all we go for. Do you know what I mean? So you try and get them on the cheap. Yeah? We get relegated this time, guys. We'll never get back up again for decades. This owner and manager, it still rings at the club.
Well, I mean, we all know we've got Bruce for the rest of the season because nothing's going to happen as far as that T word's concerned.
Yeah,
if it does, it'll be the turn of the year before anything happens. Whether it's a go or whether they just say that's it, we've had enough. And so we've got him for the whole season. I would have thought. And Ashley's already as we've said in the past, he's pushed the case to the door and he's off. He's not interested. He never has been, but he's even less interested now. And
but he's in it. Go on, Carl.
I was going to say for a businessman, I mean, like him or loathe him, he's obviously a very good businessman because you don't end up with £3.2 billion worth of personal wealth without being a clever businessman. So you've got to give him that. And financially, the club is pretty solid now. I know we're home a chunk of cash, but we're in a mess when he took over. Financially, we're sound now. So fair play to the bloke for that. But he's off. He didn't care anymore. But what I can't understand for a man with his business now is why would you let an asset just fade away? Because yes, it's this time last year it was worth £350 million. As John says, if we go down 100 million, 120, it's all it'll be. Why would you risk £250 million just to not buy a couple of decent players to keep your asset in the Premier League?
Exactly.
He still thinks this takeover is going to happen. That's why all his eggs are in that basket. He still thinks it's going to go through.
Right,
when really he should be thinking about having other buyers ready to come along. And obviously he's not going to get 300 million off anybody, but at least if someone gives 150, 200, he's going to make his money back. He might not make a profit, but he's not going to lose any money. So that's his problem.
I don't even think I'm going to that now.
So whoever's got 200 million for the club, may as well just buy. He may as well take a loss then, because at the end of the day, if he wants out that badly, right, take a loss, and give our fans hope. Give our fans what we need, because we deserve hope. We suffered 14 years under this owner, right? He's not interested in the club anymore. Not interested in being ambitious. I'm not interested of pushing us further. Just take a loss and just give the club to someone else. And I also blame the Premier League as well, because they could accept this takeover. They could easily accept this takeover and just let our fans dream. The Premier League has got to blame for this as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, it seems.
Sorry, Charles, go on. Sorry.
But I heard what you call him. Is it Neil Mitch on for Fab Four say that if you're not Qatar, you don't have a say. Well, he's right, because it seems like they're running football Qatar now, nobody else. No matter what. I mean, look at PSG this week. Look, I mean, Messi's on £70 million for 2 years' work. How's that fair play? You can't compete with stuff like that. And considering they've signed Donnarumma, they've signed Wijnaldum, and in the past couple of years, they've got likes of Icardi and players like that, who are on massive wages as well. How's that fair? I mean, the French leagues and half of the teams in France are trying to sell their best players to compete because they're all skinned. PSG are doing this. It's not fair. You can't say it is. Like Lukaku's on 450 grand a week at Chelsea. How's that fair as well? Well,
you're right, Chippers. I mean, the other thing you do, you look at Burnley and you see that that they immediately went into 90 million quid worth of debt from no debt at all. So you're right, John, about walk away and maybe take a loss, but we want the Burnley owners are some shady character, Henry Marisa, however, but it's at the point now where the money that's you were saying, Chippers, what is it? Messi's on. Is it 23 million pound a year he's on? I mean, it's bonkers, And as somebody said the other day on one of the BBC somewhere, only state-owned clubs can compete now. Yeah, well, okay, that's what you want to do. So why can PSG and Man City and even Chelsea to a degree, why can't they be owned by people who want to spend? We can't.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Mr. Neil says there, we buy players like toilet roll before lockdown.
It's a good one, Johnny. I like it.
John comes through. Richie today was shit. Murphy was okay. ASM kept dropping in midfield and a couple of times.
Yeah. Great.
He hasn't brought any good football people to the board.
I see that Dwight Gill, the day who got a new 3-year contract, got a canny run out the day as well, didn't he?
Oh.
Gave him a 3-year contract and even bring him on when we needed a goal.
Has his contract been agreed, Sam?
Well, he's still here, so I'm presuming it has. I'm sure it said him, Shaw, and Fernandez all signed new contracts.
Yeah,
they all signed together.
Oh, I missed that. Right, okay.
Can I say something, guys? Coming in, you mentioned about Matt Ritchie, right? I just got a tweet off someone, right? And this is why the fans will need to start saying that how it is, right? People need to say how it is, whether you're a fan favorite or not. I'm just going to read this out a minute, right? This won't take long. I'll post it out, right? I mean, the stats, yeah. First assessment on Ritchie, right? And one of them, I'm not going to mention names, I disagree with this, penalty incident, you have 4 Newcastle players in the box and pair marking absolutely nobody. Souček scores. You have 6 players that all either lost their mark or doing out. Antonio Fernandez should be directly in front of him, though. Look where he is. Yeah. Was Richie good today? No. I didn't think he was that good at all, to be fair. Can you solely blame Richie for all of these incidents? No. If 3 very experienced centre-backs can't even hold shape or maintain any sort of basic defending marking, then what can we expect of an aging winger that's now a makeshift wing-back? It just goes to show that the fans are scared of having a go at fan favourites. Say it how it is.
Did anyone see Richie's picture in the lineup? It looks so creepy. It looks so. I tweeted out the lineup. And you just see Richie just looking there with a really creeped out smile on his face. It just shivers up his spine.
I bet Richie's the type of bloke. If you're his mate, you're all right. If you're not, I bet he tears you to shreds. He looks at that sort of. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just think he's.
I was going to say, I hope David doesn't have a knobbly bobbly tonight where he's lying in that position.
No.
No.
John comes through. Sell Gal, sell Darlow, buy a centre back is a must. Get another centre midfielder and bring back Rondon. Job done. As easy as it sounds, it won't even happen.
No.
I want to see Cisse come back.
Who?
Papa Cisse. He wants to come back.
Oh God! Give up.
He's old. They're old. We need to think about younger players, but ones that are actually proven. Not nobodies that come in and don't do nothing.
If you need
Ashley only wants to be able to sell on values. That's the sad thing about it. He doesn't care about their ability as long as he thinks, oh yeah, in 5 years' time they'll make an extra 10 or 15 million. That's all he's glad about, unfortunately.
If you need a ASM backup / replacement, do you know that ex-Liverpool youngster from who plays for Reading now, Obiajaria? He plays for Reading. He put up insane numbers in the Championship. Him and Elise were brilliant. He is also available for the cheap because Reading are not the financial mess, but whatever. He's available for cheap. He put up very good numbers. Worth a punt on.
Personally, I think a step up from Reading to playing in Newcastle in the Premier League is a big difference. I mean, if he has one bad game for us, he will know about it. That's the problem. At Reading, he might get away with it because the fans not like, no disrespect, but they don't have 50,000 fans, And I think if you have a bad game at Reading, you'll get away with it because the fans, you won't really hear them. Whereas if you have a bad game here, you will hear them. And social media and everything like that as well. I mean, personally, I think it'd be too much of a gamble to go for somebody from Reading. That's no disrespect, but he might be a good player. I don't know, but I think we should be aiming higher than that.
Also, these players cost money, and we never seem to have money. Yet we had only 10 mil to spend, and the next minute there's 25 for Joe Willock.
Yeah. But I think the other thing, Jason, you're absolutely right about the money. It's is it actually saying, when you've got 10 to spend? So when he goes to negotiate, he says, when you've got 10, we can't do that. So I don't know whether that's kidology on his behalf of of that businessman he is. But the thing is, when you look at there was a chart doing the rounds the other day where the owner's investments into grounds. I mean, and it was zero from him over 10 years. Man City, in Man United, it was gazillions. I don't know what it was. It was a lot of money. And he's got zero. So, I get the fact that it cost players, wages and physios and all the rest of it. So it's, that when you say you get 30 million for whoever, you haven't got 30 million to spend necessarily, but, because you've got all the add-ons that you get with them. But just the TV money alone hasn't been invested. I don't think. I could be wrong. I'm not a high-end businessman, but I just don't think it hasn't been invested in. I don't know what you think, Jason.
No, it hasn't been invested. I think everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I think everything we've had is basically something that obviously it's off like Premier League and and I think it's not obviously it's not actually money, is it?
The money because you get money on placings, but is that on top of or as well as the TV money. I don't really know.
I think you get them from Premier League. You get them, the higher you finish, the more money you get in
The
there.
more you get,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, again, it's obviously nothing from Ashley, is it?
No.
What's your thoughts on Gillespie? I'm guessing that's Mark Gillespie.
Personally, I
Tricky.
think he's got on loan. He needs to go on loan. I just cannot see him getting in the first team, to be quite honest with you.
He's not good enough.
Yeah, he hasn't really been given a chance, so I don't really know, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah, got
Newport, though, he
a
does
couple
bring
of couple of cup appearances, and as soon as Martin
Yeah.
Dubravka was back, he was forgotten about.
He wasn't good enough for Motherwell.
Yeah, I think for a keeper, you need a run of games. You can't like just be judged on one game every month or whatever that they were playing in the cup. You need 4, 5, 6, 7 games to judge. I mean, look at Darlow when he came in last season. I don't think he was great early on, but he got better because he played games. And Dubravka, when he came back from injury, he was iffy the first few games, but then he was sure that he was number one. So that's how we judge a keeper. You don't just, So I can't really judge him because I haven't seen him play enough to judge.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of games and you look all right, but I wouldn't have said he was number one.
I used to watch him when he played for Motherwell.
So I think it was the cup game against Newport. I think he made a howler of a save that ended up being a goal. He's okay, but coming from Motherwell, yeah, all right, fair enough. It's the Scottish Premier League, but are they a big team? Does he deserve to? He's a fan, and he's a fan, and he used to be a part of the team before he left. But is he worth? Is he a future number one? I don't think so.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I think the other question should be: Is he? Sorry, Annie. Is he a good number two? No, I don't know.
Well, we got Martin Dubravka and we got Carl Darlow. Darlow may want to be off to get first team football. He's going to want to be a number one somewhere else.
Yeah. Obviously Woodman as well. So we've got 4 keepers, which we don't really need 4.
That's one position we are sorted for. We've got so many goalkeepers, but we haven't got backup for anywhere else.
Unless Steve Bruce plays Dubravka on the right wing when he comes back from injury.
But it's probably if he laces his boots up and tries to show the defence how it's meant to be done.
Well, yeah.
Jason, is it alright if I shoot? I want to go and get some to eat.
Yeah, no worries.
You've just had a huge bag of crisps, lad.
I'm a grown boy. So.
No worries, mate.
Cheers for having us on.
No worries. Cheers. See you later.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on? How we said the Villa game? Do we have any chances at all? Is it going to be a loss? Is it going to be a win?
Nah,
We're going to get slaughtered.
We're gonna get damaged.
I agree with the other lads. I think it's going to be looking at today's second half performance, I can see we're getting another battering. I hope not. I'm always an optimist, but I just think we'll get taken the cleaners again. Willick's there, so you what?
No, I said 2-0 on John's show before, but I really do think we'll get pumped 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been saying for 2-0 Villa win. I don't see us doing much.
I said you were going to lose 1-0, simply because Aston Villa I don't think they're going to click until midway through the season. So I think they'll beat you, but it'll be tight, I think.
We're going to get beat 3-0 at half time. 3-0 during a half time. You just watch. I'm not being funny.
Like your confidence, John.
3-0 down on me.
3-0 by half time.
What confidence do you want to have? Seeing his team just go out there and just being battered by West Ham. There's no confidence. There's no confidence in this side whatsoever.
It just amazes me that we have a great first half, and then Steve and he opens his mouth, we come out, and we just completely throw the entire game away. That just annoys me so much.
The only confidence we have is getting rid of Bruce and giving them to Bristol City. It's the only confidence we have.
Now, why would you do that to Bristol City, David? Go on, lads. I think you've got enough troubles.
Probably couldn't do much better, to be honest.
No.
You've got a good manager, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, is Pearson still there, is he?
Yeah, but he's got 2 wins in 22 games, I think, or something
Really?
like that.
As bad as that? Oh,
Yeah, horrific.
How long do you give him until he's been given the boot?
They were calling how he's had on Tuesday night.
Our owners are quite patient with how they run the thing, how they run our club, because they want to be financially stable and they just don't want to keep sacking managers every summer. I would say until just maybe New Year's. He'll be given until the New Year's to really start clicking. Then, if we are even more patient, I think he'll be given to Easter. But up until then, if we're not in the top 13 or 14 by then, yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Do you think he can turn it around?
Yeah, absolutely he can. We've got good players. We can definitely challenge for the top half. Not for the playoffs yet, but he has good players, and if he can turn it, if somebody can make this team click, I think it's going to be Nigel Pearson.
I always thought he was a good coach, and I
You
would
can have
think
Andy Carroll.
I still think he'll turn it around, Andy. But I mean, I didn't realise it was 2-22. That's just that's shocking, that, isn't it?
That's worse than us last season, going
21-22
winless through them.
Yeah.
2-25, wasn't it, Jason? At 1 point or something. Yeah, 2 wins out of 25.
The way Bruce were playing towards the end of last season as well, we just half the players who were starting every week just didn't give a toss. 11 players were released, 3 came in. They've been all right, but it's just
11 released and 4 in.
3 in.
3 in.
11,
so you're really that weakened.
Yeah, we've got 2 proper strikers. We've got 1 right back at the club, 1 right back, and that's a 34-year-old Danny Simpson. I mean, just about sums it up.
Good player on his day.
He was. I will admit that. He had a very good career at Newcastle, I thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then he jumped ship, go to Leicester, and wins the bloody Premier League with them.
Not a bad move. Not a bad move.
That's just how I look, though, isn't it, Jason?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We move them on, and they go and win something.
Yeah. Never mind. One day. I keep saying
hopefully one day. I would like to see us lift a trophy in my lifetime.
At least we released Henry Lansbury.
The trouble is, mate, I'm 70 this year, so I've got many years left before I see what win a trophy. I think it was 69, but I think the last time they won was it 27? The last time they won the top division, and
Dave,
27.
Have faith we're going to win the Carabao Cup this season.
David, I'll take that, mate. I'll take that. I'll
probably get to the quarterfinals again and lose to another B team like we did to Brentford.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I would have liked to have seen Shearer lift a trophy.
Yeah.
When he done it with Blackburn. I thought I was really hoping that he could have actually done it, but nope, still got to wait.
Yeah.
A B team cannot be Bristol City because they're out.
Shut up.
Come on, you Greens.
You tell him, money.
So what
do I say?
Where do you think we're going to finish this season? Going by that game.
Bottom 3?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
19th.
I'll go broccoli and carrots.
Don't forget the gravy.
Yeah. Your John.
Cauliflower and cabbage.
You got to have the Yorkies. You can't have a roast about the Yorkies.
You got to have Yorkshire
Yeah.
pudding with that, yeah. And a nice shabby to wash it down with that.
Oh, brilliant.
Cabbage on that dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Jason, I think my heart says we'll finish 14th, 15th, but my head says bottom three after today.
Yeah, in my predictions, I've put us in 18th. I don't see us doing anything under Bruce, especially when there's no players really being brought in. Yes, you could say we brought in Willock, but can we say we brought in Willock when we had him last season?
No.
So we've not brought anyone in. Are we going to strengthen? Most likely not, with how long's left in the window. If we do strengthen, I would say maybe a 15th at best under Bruce, but I'm still going with 18th. I think we're going to go down.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Before the start of the season, I said 14th would be us. But saying that today, I think we'll be 19th.
Who do you think be rock bottom?
Yeah. But you know what upsets me the most when I go back with my time, you obviously Robson and Keegan and whatever, and even before that, here is us five sitting saying bottom three, 15, 16, something like that. When back in the day, you would say, if we're not in the top four, there'll be something radically wrong. And we expected and got in the top four several times, and we've played Champions League football in my time. We've been Barcelona 3-2 at home. This is how far this club has fallen under Ashley. We had 9 out of 11 years before he come.
We had 2 relegations.
And then, and since he's come, is it 1, which was the first year or whatever, we're in Europe. And then we've had, as David absolutely says, we've had 2 relegations, and it's the place. And I was shocked today when I went to the ground. It looks terrible. There's been
What's happened? What's happened, Dave? He said it's terrible. Is it things are falling apart?
It's outside, John, just looks filthy. If you look above 9 bar, there's a great glazed area above 9 bar. It's got, as David's right, it's got moss on, it's dirty, it hasn't been washed in years. The front 9 bar's been cleaned, obviously, because it's just been reopened, as has the club shop. But around the sides, the stairs, there was litter and dust. And I know there was 50,000 there dropping stuff, but the corner of the stairs was just grubby, and I just thought, my God, back in the day, that place would have been an absolute, as we call it, a cathedral on the hill. It would have been looking its best for the first day of the season, and it just it did. I just despair. I really do. I despair.
Do you think that Newcastle City Council should go and just clean it up themselves, sort of thing? Surely.
I would say, John, it's not their job to do it because they own the land, not the ground, not the stadium. So they own the land it's on and a bit round it. I don't see why they should do that because it's not their job to do that. But as an icon of the city, I agree with you. Maybe they should just go out the way. Let's get this sorted. I mean, you see the TV cameras from the Sir John Hall stand looking at where I sit in the East Stand. The roof, have you seen the state of the roof? It's absolutely filthy. Hasn't been cleaned in 14 years. And it always used to be, close season was always sprayed and cleaned and jet washed. Hasn't been done in all them years.
I tell you what, that tells everyone what you just said there. It tells everyone that you need to know that Mike Ashley doesn't give a toss about the football club. He doesn't care.
No.
I was lucky enough to grow up in the Bob Robson era. So under Freddie Shepherd, I was lucky enough to see before Mike Ashley came in and to see Champions League football under Sir Bobby. I mean, great times there, the passion, the fun, being called the entertainers because we used to entertain.
Yeah. And
now you look at us, we're not entertainers no more. We can't entertain.
Yeah, Jason, you're absolutely right. I mean, back in those days, we were everybody's second team. Because as you rightly say, it was great to watch. I mean, we just went ahead. We attacked in droves. Under Keegan Robson. I mean, beating Barcelona at home 3-2. I mean, that's stuff of dreams. I know we're banging over it. It was years ago now, but that's what we're capable. Yeah, I mean that's what we're capable of doing as a club with the right investment. But at the minute, here's us talking about: are we going to be just above relegation or inside the relegation places? And that's the best we can hope for. It's an absolute crying shame. It really is.
Yep. It is. It's terrible.
Hey,
to know that we used to be a force and that teams feared coming up against us back then. To now teams look at us and think 3 points right there.
Yeah. I mean, the fortress St James's was the word, wasn't it? And it used to be. You're absolutely right, but not now. Which is there's 3 points for you.
Everyone said that Freddie Shepherd wasn't the right man to take Newcastle forward, but the stadium was always clean, was always tidy.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just left to rot. It's been left to rot. It really has. It's disgusting. All the moss.
It was well looked after. What have we done since? About a year ago? We just put a lick of paint up, put a couple of designs about, and that's it.
It's just full of moss on the outside of the stadium. It's just full of moss, and on the roof, as Dave says, it's just filthy.
It is
absolute filthy.
And this is his club, by the way. He's the owner of the football club, and he just doesn't care. That tells us everything I need to know, lads. He doesn't care. And you know what it is like? I mean, like you said, David, he's washed his hands off the club and he put the keys away. All he wants now is the money. That's what he wants. It ain't worth 300 million now, like, if it's not going to be cleaned up.
But I think if you look at what Ashley, his sort of business raison d'etre is, that he buys stuff relatively cheap and flips it. I mean, several years ago, he got a chance to buy, I can't remember if it was something like £30 million of Adidas shares, because there was a lad he knew in America who was desperate for cash to do something, and he bought them. 30 million quid, give him cash. There you go, fella, got it. And it was about 9 weeks later, he sold them for 47 million quid to somebody else or whatever. And he made that money in a few weeks. And, fair play to the guy, but have 30 million quid to buy an asset, to sell it. And I genuinely believe that's what he thought he'd do with the club. He'd buy it, he'd financially settle it, and then the next day you think, right, okay, I've got to buy it, let's get rid of it. And whatever he paid for it, he get that plus another 100 million quid or whatever figure. And it's just never worked out. And because he's not a football man, he doesn't understand it. Certainly doesn't when he brings people like Dennis Wise and whatever into the club at the time, which everybody used to think, why? And you just think, well, that's the measure of the man. He knows, he may be a very good retailer, but he knows now about football. And you're right, John, he's keys to the door, I'm off. Can't be bothered anymore.
Well, it makes it even worse when you actually find out that on the stats, Joe Kadir has a better win average than Steve Bruce, and that's just embarrassing.
Oh, very much so, Jason. Absolutely right.
He's also stepping down from House of Fraser, I believe, as well.
Yes, his future son-in-law's taking over as chairman, and he's going to be
do you put in a minute, Mum?
A non-executive director, I think, or something, or whatever.
I'll do your thing in a minute.
Or assistant, yeah. John, what's for afters?
You got your apple pie and custard, us.
Yeah, apple pie and custard. Bruce's favourite sweet, apple pie and custard. Yeah.
Is he coming round for dinner?
Yeah, we're right. John, you'll have to keep me warm, mate. It's a canny run from here to Bristol. It'll take me away together.
You got to pick which house to come to, though. Him or mine.
What's at your house, Annie? What's your? Is it you? What's your mum cooking? What you making?
Yeah, she
always makes an Indian, so happy.
Oh. Annie, I'm on my way. I'll just
put my shoes on.
I think I got a bit further to travel, right down south there.
Yeah. Anyway.
Annie, would you take Gillespie?
No, because we've got already an excellent goalkeeper in Dan Bentley, so no.
yet you're struggling to find a win?
That's not because of him. It's because of the attack.
Do you blame
No,
your
it's not because
defense?
of him.
Do you blame your defense or do you blame your keeper?
I don't blame my defense. I blame my attack. They can't score goals.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
old
but
thing,
you
isn't
got
it? The
Chris
best form
Martin.
of best form of defense is attack.
John, are you looking at Joel Linton flexing in the mirror? You keep looking away.
No, see if there's any
No,
latest news, that sort of thing, but nothing going.
he's watching in case he eats his dinner.
God.
He's making sure he picks the right plate up.
Really.
You got a new sub now, Annie. So there you go.
Oh, thanks, Thomas.
Freddie Woodman, does he start against Villa or does Darlow start? I think Darlow might be back for the Villa game.
Yeah, all right, I thought he's out for another couple of weeks, Jason.
No, he's back.
He is okay, right?
He's back next week.
I would start with Woodman personally.
Just dropping, you can't really drop after one game. I think he's going to win his career if you keep doing that. He's got to need a run of games.
Yeah.
He may come good, but again, I said it many times.
I think you'll go back. Like I think you'll go back out on loan. I think now Darlow's back, you'll say, well, right, we'll put you back on loan.
We've seen Bournemouth obviously interested in him. Also interesting keeping situations at West Brom and Sheffield United with Ramsdale and Johnston. If both Ramsdale and Johnston leave, I can easily see Woodman just getting him on loan, slotting him in there. I think Woodman would be number one choice for a lot of Championship clubs.
I agree on that one. He's got plenty of experience in the Championship, and the way Sheffield United and their goalkeeper situation is going,
Arsenal
Woodman would be a good move for them.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, he constantly gets linked to Arsenal because his dad was there. Because his dad's left now, wasn't he? He's managing some lower league team. I forget it was with somebody down that neck of the woods. That's why.
What's his
Woodman's dad?
Yeah,
he's a manager somewhere. He's left Arsenal, you understand.
Well, what's his name? Do you know?
Andy Woodman.
Mr. Woodman. That's Andy Woodman.
Oh, yeah. Andy Woodman. Yeah.
Oh, Andy Woodman is it? All right, I'll search up.
Yeah, go on, get on your internet and have a look. You're way to find it. You're good at that.
You're on your internet.
John's doing it well. Who will win?
He's gone.
John's very focused.
Bromley?
Oh, I thought he froze.
Bromley.
Yeah, Bromley.
Probably all right.
That's only 45 minutes from me.
Oh, well, there you
go. Bromley. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still there.
Wow.
So that might be a good show for him to go with
he was released by Arsenal because their first team goalkeeper had a complaint with him. Interesting.
Okay.
Right. So you learn something every day.
Has anyone actually been, say, lived in the same area or been close to a player at all?
No.
I think
Nigel.
I might be way off because Joey Barton is Bristol Rovers manager. I think he might be like 5 minute radius of me. I'm not sure, but I think he might be.
I used to live in Milton Keynes and I used to live beside Dele Alli.
Wow.
Dele Alli was my next door neighbour.
For me, in my town, it's only a small town, but I went to the same school a couple of years below, but I went to the same school as Jimmy Bullard. And Rob Elliott, our former goalkeeper, also started his career in my town as well.
All right. Yeah, I could argue I live in the same city as the Newcastle squad, but that's just because it's Newcastle.
That's cheating. John, you've been near any other players?
Nigel Martin. I saw him once or twice. He used to live in a flat above the paper shop, which is just over there, by the way, back in 1990, 91. And spoke to him for about 5-10 minutes and that sort of thing. And he's a decent guy. He used to play for Bristol Rovers and he used to play for Leeds.
I remember Nigel Martin,
What?
yeah.
Why would he talk to someone who played for Bristol Rovers, John?
No,
I'm going to give a 5 just a negative.
No. Out of the Bristol clubs, I'd rather take City over Rovers anyway. But
No.
You're
He's only saying that because you're real.
I said to him, I keep asking him, why do you always do so well against Bristol City? Why? And he's just said that's because of good performance. But he's a good lad, and I think he's from Cornwall. Cornish lad, and he's humble. And I've seen a couple of players in my time as well. So yeah.
A lot of information in a 5-minute conversation.
I've met Liverpool.
I'm joking, John, I'm joking.
I've met Lauren Robert, Oliver Bernard, Terry McDermott,
Tick.
and
Tick.
Same with it.
what's the other one? Malcolm
if-
MacDonald.
Well, if
Tick.
we're going through players we've met, I've met Jackie Milburn, Bobby Robson,
I've met.
Alan Shearer.
Bobby.
Who else have I met from Newcastle?
I've met
Shea
Bobby
Given.
Robson. I've met Shea Given.
Can't think now. Probably couple others at various times.
Well, I
Would have loved to have had a long old chat with Sir Bobby. The
Oh.
stories that he could have told.
Do you know what it was? He was such a down-to-earth bloke. Same as Jackie Milburn. I mean, I met Jackie Milburn a good number of times when he was the writer for the was it the People News World? I can't remember. And he used to come past when you old wooden stand. That's going back a week or two. And he always used to have a bit crack. And he knew my uncle, and just used to just natter with just like blokes at a pub. Absolutely. And Robson was exactly the same. I when I met him, I said, Sir Bob, what's it on? He says, just Bob, not just Bob. That's what he was. He didn't, no airs and graces. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say I cried when he died. It was heartbreaking, but
It was.
absolutely heartbreaking.
It was.
He was football from the start and football to the end. He
Absolutely, Jason.
such
Absolutely.
a passionate bloke. Passionate bloke. I still really regret the day that he got fired.
Big mistake.
Should never have
He
happened.
would have. I was when I watched some of the old sort of clips back, and the thing it still fills me up was when he walked onto the pitch when he was first time he came on as manager, and he did a little fist bump, and I thought, yeah, this is where you want to be, fella. He was absolutely made up to be there, and that's every time I see it, I go, oh God, that's he's gone. It's just sad, but that's what it is. But I think there's never a good thing about losing, but the legacy he's left with the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation with the cancer stuff is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's the stuff they do and the money they raise is stunning. It really is. And
She when just took her on.
see again, Dave.
She when I took her on.
I think Shearer's got his own, hasn't he?
Shearer's got his own one.
His own one, but he does a lot of work for the a lot of other players do for the Robbie Robson Foundation, so that they do things.
I thought he took part of it.
I think he does take part in it, but as Jason said, he does have his own charity, doesn't he, for kids, isn't it? I think he's got a. Can't remember what it is now, but yeah.
Yeah, he's got the Alan Shearer Foundation, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being mentored by Sir Bobby and has every ounce of respect for Sir Bobby and loves the club, would you like to see Jose Mourinho come to the club?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
With a new owner, with a different owner, but I think he'll do well at Roma. And if he does it and then he comes back with Newcastle, then that'd be fantastic. The guy's 58, and would I take him back? Yeah, I would.
He's got so much passion for the club. He never downrates us. He always gives us so much positivity. He has so much respect for Sir Bobby, or as he calls him, Mr. Robson.
Mr. Robson, yeah.
You could just see that the son of the father to come back to Newcastle and put the good times back in the club.
Yeah. And I think when he said a couple of times, Sandy, there's a little bit of Geordie in me, or Newcastle in me. I'd take him in a heartbeat. I really would.
Thing is, though, he's 58. Is it going to be too late for him to come back in Newcastle? He'd probably be like 61, 62.
So?
Doesn't matter. How old was Bobby?
Yeah, true. 66, 67.
57 when he went, yeah.
How old is Roy Hodgson? I mean, he's ancient now.
105 or something. Oh. Hodgson was he late 70s, isn't he?
Yeah, like
70s, 80s, yeah.
No, 77, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's retired now, but I mean, but it's what is between the years, John. It's not. He doesn't have to run up and down the pitch anymore.
Oh no, we have to see him do that.
Mr.
Bobby used to do it
down the pitch at the training ground. He just
Bobby used to
out of the way.
Bobby used to run up training
I
ground.
tell you what, if Josie comes to Newcastle anytime soon with a new owner, he'll not come in with Mike Ashley on board. With a new owner, I think if he wins us a trophy, right, then he just says, okay, I had enough. I've got you a trophy. I'm going to walk away retired, right? That'll do me. He'd be a legend.
Yeah.
He would be.
Hodgson and Warnock. Neil Warnock is just utter absolute legends in footballing game. And when they retire, they're going to be remembered so fondly of like Sir Bobby.
Yeah, you're right.
Warnock. Well, I can see that. Mainly as a championship manager, he's not really had it cut out well in the Premier League. No worries.
Tell me, he beat us. He beat us yesterday. Sorry, I mean.
What didn't Warnock retire at one point and then he just I'm coming back? You can't keep him away from the game.
He said he was gonna retire after the last year at Cardiff. He walked away and then he said, he put this emotional message out, and then later on the season, out of nowhere, Middlesbrough were they're pleased to announce Neil Warnock. I'm shock.
Yeah.
He has got a good record of taking teams up, but once they're up, he's just like, get him out now before you get relegated, so he can go, so he can bring another team up.
I mean, he winds me up at times, because he once said in an interview, when I die, I don't want a minute's applause. I want a minute's booing at Bristol City when they play Cardiff. He just winds us up all the time.
I didn't know he said that. Oh man, that's
brilliant. That's brilliant.
I sat down and teared up a bit because I do find the guy very amusing, but hopefully we beat them. Yeah.
Hopefully. We're going for about an hour and a half. I think we've run out of things to say. We obviously didn't like that game. Hopefully move on to the next one. Hopefully a positive vibe next time, maybe not. So, lastly, Bruce in or Bruce out?
Out.
In.
Oh,
come on, Steve.
No one's interested in you, so Bruce out. Cheers for coming on, guys.
It's been a pleasure, Jason. Thank you.
No problems.
Been brilliant, Jason.
First live stream, and I fucked it up right at the start. Yay!
No.
Cheers, guys.
It's fine. It's good fun. Right.
Catch you later.
Guys,
Bye,
see you later.
everybody. Take
See
care.
ya.
Ta-ra.
See you later, Dave
Bye.
and
Bye.
Uda.
Yeah,
Cheers.
bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
So that was it. You all got your well, yeah. What more can you say? We lost 4-2. None of us liked it. We're all agreed on Bruce out, apart from Annie. So yeah, fingers crossed. Maybe a better performance against Villa. Maybe not. But until then, see you later, guys.